What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the 1% Podcast. As always, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for showing support. And thank you guys for showing love on every single episode. And you might be asking, where am I? It's a new background. I'm in my room. I'm in my home. I shot an episode yesterday. I felt kind of iffy about it. So I decided take one out the book of the Journey podcast and just shoot in a place that feels comfortable to you. And here I am. But before I get started, I want to be able to shout out Lab Work Fitness. Shout out my guy Dante. He makes some great apparel. He makes shorts, shirts. I think he makes women's apparel as well. This is comfy. I got a pair of shorts. I'll throw his link in the description. Go check him out. The drink of choice today, got some coffee, local coffee shop. I've been drinking black coffee as of late. I don't know, I guess it's a good replacement. Gets me going, gets me started. But you guys have probably been wondering, where have I been? What have I been up to? And why have I been gone so long? I want to start off by saying that the break that I took, to me, was necessary. I've been doing social media for about 2 to 3 years now, and there was just a part of me that maybe felt overwhelmed. There was a part of me that I think I needed this because I was sustaining an overload schedule for so long. I don't want to say forcing content, but I've been creating content for 3 years, almost every day on TikTok. And over the past, I would say, couple months, I haven't been as consistent as I would want to be. And during that time when I dropped the last YouTube video with Jake and Zach, if you haven't watched that, go check that out. There was a lot of things going on in my personal life at that time that I just didn't feel comfortable posting content because at that time I was not okay. There was a lot of personal problems, a lot of issues that just spurred up. I don't even know if that's the right word, but I'm going with it. There was a lot of things that just transpired, and I just needed a break. And I don't think it's fair to you guys to create not to the fullest extent of content, not create the best content, not create quality content. And if I'm just throwing content out there just for you guys and it's not quality, it's not going to feel right to me. And maybe that's a little bit of a perfectionist in me, but I want to be able to create the best content possible for you guys, and I think you guys deserve that for the love and support that you guys show on every video, on every audio, on every platform, TikTok, Instagram. You guys support, and you guys don't deserve that. So I needed to take a step away and really spend some time alone, really be in my own space, understand what was going on. And there was a lot of things that came up under the surface that I didn't know of until it happened. Or maybe it was suppressed for a while and I wasn't able to get a hold on it. And in doing so and spending that time alone, there was a lot of reflection. There was a lot of trying to formulate, where do I want to go next? How do I want to go about it? And ultimately, come back when I feel ready. And if you guys hear construction outside, that's just my street. But I just want to kind of throw that out there. So I had to really talk to myself. I really had to ask myself, and I really had to sit by myself. And as dark of a place as that was, I had to go through it. And I think it was beneficial for me. It was something that I needed to go through. And I'm not to sit here and say that I'm 100% better, but I'm way better than where I was before. And I think that that's progress. And I think that should be celebrated and validated by myself. And that's something that I should be proud of. And I know you hear you were posting so much, you were doing so good, you just got your TikTok off the ground and now you've lost momentum. You can always create momentum. I know myself. Once I get going and I continuously put in that work and I'm where I need to be, I will create the momentum. I can create that again. It's just a series of events of continuous work. That's nothing new to me. I can sustain that if I'm in the right place mentally. But if I'm not in the right place mentally, you're not going to be able to have sustainable consistency. Shout out my guy Bobby. He put me on to that. Sustainable consistency. I have to be consistent over time. And if I'm overwhelming myself, if I'm burdening myself with other things, pouring into other things when I'm not okay mentally, then I will burn out. But if I could be consistent each day, if I can focus on 1% each day and create a level of consistency that is obtainable, that I can upkeep, I'll create the momentum again. I've done it before. I could do it again. And now the other thing that might come up is, well, what if you can't? At some point when you're consistent enough, everything makes a breakthrough. When you are putting in the work every day, when you are confident about your product every day, when you know where you're supposed to be every day, and I know I'm going to end up where I'm going to end up because I know who I am and I know the capabilities that I have, the support of the community that I have, the messages that I speak, the things that I say. I know that the authentic messages will get through to the right people. That's not a problem. Because I know my approach and I know where I'm going to take this. But at some point, I needed to take a step back. And I needed to look at myself and just pour back into me. A lot of my friends would tell me, you've been doing content creation for 2 to 3 years. You've been giving to others for 2 to 3 years. At some point, you have to give back to yourself. Because, for example, if I pour this coffee into other people's cups, I will no longer have coffee in my cup. So I have to make sure that I'm pouring into my cup the same way that I'm pouring into others. You have to make sure that the cups that you're pouring into, you are also pouring into your own cup. Because the sad reality is that some people, when you pour into their cup, they will take and not give you anything in return. They will take the cup, they will take what you've given them, and they will not give you anything in return. So you have to be sustainable for your energy, for your time, for everything that you want to do. You have to ask yourself, if I'm pouring into other people's cups and I'm not pouring into my own, then what am I doing for myself? And if the answer is nothing, then the answer is nothing. So that's what I had to realize. And as dark as a time as that was, sitting in the mud by myself, I had to go through that. When life can put you in a corner, when life can say to you, you know what? I'm going to try to give you everything so you finally give up, so you finally quit. I'm going to throw as many punches so I can back you up against the wall. I'm going to throw as many things at you to make you give up, to make you question yourself, to make you not want to keep going. That's exactly when you accept the challenge. That is exactly when you say, no matter how much my back is against the wall, no matter how much things, obstacles, adversity I have to overcome, I'm willing to go through it. And those are the people that will be successful. If you constantly can tell yourself, if you constantly can get up after getting knocked back down, you are a hard person to stop. Nobody in life, no thing, no external being, no external event can stop you. If you can get up after every trial, after every tribulation, and still stand on your 2 feet and keep moving forward, you can't be stopped. I'm going to take a little drink off of that because so that's why I've been away. And as school has just ended, and that has taken up a lot of my time, as I had to get a job and start working hours so I could be able to fund the podcast, so I can get more equipment, so I could be able to have money, because some things have gone the wrong way. It was a hectic time for me. So how could I create content? So I say all this to say that if you are in a space of creation and you're forcing content, you're force feeding the content, and it does not feel authentic with you, if you are going through something and you have to put on a facade or you have to put on a persona in order to create, then just take a break. I was so against that for so long. And the crazy part is that people that were closest to me saw that I was not in the right space. They said, Av, you know what? Maybe it's time that you just take some time for you. Maybe, you just step away for a little bit. It doesn't have to be forever. And you just step away and focus on you. Focus on your mental. Get your mental back. And it was the best decision I've ever made. It was the best decision I've ever made. So if you're thinking about stepping away for a little bit, step away to get your mental right. Social media, whatever you want to do, will always be here when you get back. It will always be here. If you're a content creator on social media and you're thinking about, you're on the fence, social media will always be here. It'll always be here. Go take a break. Go get your mental right. Because if this is not right, if you do not sit with this and get this right, you can't conquer anything. The man who conquers himself is the most powerful man in the world. Man or woman. The person that can conquer themselves is the most powerful person in the world. You have to conquer yourself first. Now, that's not to say that you'll conquer yourself in one night. That's not to say that you'll be able to be a master of self in one night. No, it takes a lot of work. Self-awareness. Realizing what you are doing. Self-aware. Mindful. Asking yourself, am I even in the right space to be making content? Am I even in the right space to be in this relationship? Am I even in the right space to be in this job? Am I even in the right space to be doing the things that I'm doing? And if the answer is no, then you have your answer. Take a step back. Maybe exit the premises if it no longer serves you, if it's no longer for you. Exit the premises. but you need to do what's best for you. And as hard as that may be for some other people, it's just the sad truth. Because the only person that you have in this life is you. That is the only person that you will ever have in this life. So if you're not looking out for you, then who is? If you're not looking out for you, then who will be looking out for you? Because we think sometimes our friends, our family, people that we love would be looking out for us, but that's not always the case. So I had to look out for myself, and I think you should too. It's a necessity. We need to look out for ourselves. We need to be okay and comfortable with ourselves to ask ourselves if we're even in the right space to be doing some things. If we're no longer in alignment with people, then we need to move accordingly. So that's just some of the things that I had to really ask myself during that time, and I had to make a lot of sacrifices. Now, what do you mean by sacrifices? What did you sacrifice? Well, I sacrificed my time in terms of once I got that job, I had to make sure that I'm putting in overtime to be able to make sure that I can make more money, make more income. So I can be able to get more equipment. Sacrificing the time, sacrificing the energy. We think that it'll hinder us. That we think that just because I'm sacrificing a little bit of time, a little bit of my energy, that it may not be worth it in the long run. And if that's the case, I've been sacrificing a lot of time. You have to make sacrifices for the things that you want, even if it's not what you want to do. But sometimes you have to do things in order to get to where you want to go. Maybe it's not the thing that you want to do, but it's the thing that you have to do. It's the thing that you need to do. Picking up that job, working extra hours, spending a little bit time more on your craft, sacrificing the party, sacrificing the hangout, sacrificing your Friday nights or your Saturday nights, sacrificing your early mornings to be able to get to where you want to go. And this past Sunday was Mother's Day. I didn't even get to see my mother. I don't even know the last time I saw my mom. I think I saw my mom 3 months ago. That was the last time I saw my mom. Granted, she lives in another part of where I'm from. But you have to make the sacrifices. And I know these short-term sacrifices in the long term of things will benefit me. The one thing that I wanted to do, the one thing, and the reason why I put so much stress on myself and the reason why I have so much expectations for myself is because I want to be able to retire her right. I want to be able to treat her towards the end of her life. So I, as her son, will sacrifice anything I need to go and need to do to get her to where I feel like she could be comfortable. And that's what I have had to sacrifice. I have no problem sacrificing because she has given everything to me. She's worked 2 jobs. She's done all of these things. So if I had to make a little bit of a sacrifice of my time for content creation, just so I could be able to make more money, so I could be able to fund what I want to do, to be able to get to where I want to be, which is having the best podcast in the world, then maybe I need to do that. And the right people, they'll resonate with that. They'll understand that. They'll accept that. It's about doing what you need to do to get to where you want to go. That's the ultimate factor. If you can sacrifice, even though you don't want to do those things, but you need to do them, you'll be more than okay. But you have to ask yourself, is what I'm doing, is it sustainable? If all these hours I'm putting in, if all this work I'm putting in, is it sustainable? And sometimes the answer will be no. Sometimes it won't. But I do say this to say that I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be creating content for you guys. I'm happy to be in a way better mind space, headspace, a mindset than what I was at a couple of months ago. I think that that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. Like I said, I'm not 100% there, but I'm definitely 1% better. Definitely 1% better. And I guess one of the last topics I'll talk about on this podcast, because it's ran about 21 minutes now, is live in your most authentic self, whatever that may be. Live in your most authentic self. See, because the crazy thing about some people is that they won't, right? They'll be scared of being who they actually are, or doing the things that they actually want to do, or putting up a front. And for a while, I'll be honest, during that time, I was absolutely putting up a front because I was not happy. I was stressed. I was going through a lot of things personally, mentally. And over time, I realized, why am I putting up a front? Why am I putting up a facade that to just look the part? And I think one of the things that has hindered me is that when people look at you for what you do on social media, they think that that's exactly what you're like all the time. Nobody is happy all the time. Nobody is positive all the time. It's just not the case. It's really not. I would say that I'm optimistic. I would say that in most cases I'm 100% extremely optimistic. But to say that I'm happy all the time, it's not the case at all. I'm grateful. And I think that gratitude can play a part in happiness. I think if we're grateful for what we have, then I think that can lead to happiness. That can lead to contentment, being content with where you're at. But it all starts with gratitude. And I think during that time, I was not grateful for the things that I currently have, because they always say that, what's the saying? I'm trying to think of it. I think the saying is that we've always prayed for what we have, and once we get it, we're not as grateful anymore. We don't show as much gratitude. And during that time, I wasn't. I wasn't grateful for the platform that I created, for the community that I've created. So I think that with not also showing my authentic self, with kind of putting up a front, putting up a little bit of a facade, trying to play the part on what Avi is deemed on social media, I think that in part of that, I wasn't grateful. But authenticity will always be the thing that separates you. How authentic are you in your message? How authentic are you in your approach? That's what will separate you from the rest of the pack. The authenticity. How real, how genuine are you in your approach? That is what will separate you. And I think that I wasn't authentic during that time. Because I was acting as if everything was okay. And if you're acting as if everything is okay, and if not everything is okay, then what is that going to lead to? That's going to lead to poor quality work. But that's also what social media has created, right? Social media has created that we're going to post things, that we're going to do things for the appeasement of other people. We're going to post where we're at instead of actually enjoying where we're at. We're going to post this house that we bought, and in real time, we're miserable. We're going to post about this relationship, but in real time, we are seconds away from breaking up. That is what social media has done. I'm going to post my success, but deep down, I am extremely upset with myself. I am extremely depressed. That's what social media has created. It's about who can look the best instead of who is actually the best, who is feeling the best. It's about looking the part. It's not about being the part. That's what social media has created. Social media has been detrimental. And I've had to take some time off of social media. And I think anybody who's listening that is on the fence about taking a break from social media, maybe do so. The comparison. We live in a comparison culture. Stop comparing and start living. They say comparison is the thief of joy. They say that comparison will rob you of all of the happiness because what you may have, and you may have all great things, but you look at somebody else and they have more than you, and all of a sudden you're depressed. All of a sudden you're sad. Oh, I need to be doing more. And that for a long time was my mindset. That I've created a platform, that I've created and I've met people, and I've been in spaces where I once wanted to be. And then I go on social media and I see the people that have more than me, more followers, more likes, and I'm instantly depressed because I don't have what they have. But meanwhile, I have everything that I need. It's like the grass is greener. The grass is greener where you water it. Wherever you choose to water your grass, if you choose that your space, your work, your success, your relationships, your friendships, if you choose to water those, they will be watered. But if you look at what somebody else is doing, if you look at the relationships and other things that other people are doing, and you're not currently looking at where your grass is to make your garden, you're always going to think that somebody else's garden is better than yours. That's why you got to just stay in your lane. And I had to tell myself, stay in your lane. Stop worrying about the person driving next to you. Worry about staying in your lane. Stay in your lane. Stay authentic. Stay real. Stay genuine. Show humility, and that other lane's not going to matter. That other grass is not going to matter. That other garden is not going to matter. It won't. Stay in your lane. And I say that with love. I say that with your lane is the lane that you need to be in. Your lane, nobody can take your lane away from you. Nobody can take you away from you. Whatever you're doing, nobody can take that away from you. You only let it be affected. You can only let somebody take it away from you. You have to actively give that up to let it be taken from you. You have to let it be taken from you. This was a phenomenal episode. As I got to go shoot another podcast. I think I might end it here. that's the reason why I had to take a break. And I hope that you guys understand. I hope that you guys enjoyed. I hope that you guys like this video. If you like this setup, it's not the best setup, but if you guys like this little interpersonal, I don't want to say interpersonal, but if you like this setup, let me know in the comments. Let me know on Instagram. Make sure to follow the Instagram. Make sure to follow the TikTok, the 1% podcast _ Let me know on my personal Avi Wiswer _ or it's _ Avi Wiswer. I'm not sure which one, but one of the two. But I think I might end it here. I really enjoyed this episode. I really enjoyed going through a little bit of my experiences over this past month and just kind of self-reflecting and getting back into my space, getting back into my groove of things. And I just feel a lot lighter. I feel a lot better. And I can't wait to produce more content. I got some great content on the way. Shot a part 2 with Kid Works. The audio to that, I'll let you know now, disclaimer. That audio was a little messed up on my end, but on his end, it was phenomenal. And I'm shooting another podcast today, and I got another one next week. And maybe I'll sprinkle in a solo in there. But it was nice to just have my first video solo. All we did was audio, but YouTube solo episode. As always, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for showing support. And thank you guys for showing love on every single episode. This is the 1% podcast. Don't forget to grow today. I'm out.